player. We're working hard for you. We're out raising money. We've got one of the best organized campaigns in the state of Colorado right now. And I look forward to meeting with the rest of you that I haven't met. Thanks for coming.
Hey, thank you, Nick. This is 3P Phil Wagner, and 3P's our poet, philosopher, and patriot. Phil has a short announcement.
Good morning, Phil Wagner, South JeffCo. Just a real quick comment. I hope you noticed from yesterday's perspective in the Denver Post perspective section, Tom Tancredo wrote an article about one language will unify us. It's a long poem. I wish I could read every word of it to you, but just point that out to you. It's well worth reading.
Okay, we have part of the old guard that gets things done. The old guard, not the old gardener. Sherry Collins.
Good morning. Fred, it's not a good idea to introduce a lady as old guard. Right, girls?
I thought it was a sign of respect, but maybe I misinterpreted.
My name is Sherry Collins, and I'm a member of the 7th Congressional District Executive Committee, and we are putting together our assembly/convention. Ours is actually a convention. I'm asking, how many people in here are delegates to the 7th Congressional this year? Raise your hands. Wonderful, thank you. For all of you who are not delegates, we need assistance and help. If you'd like to volunteer to be on the teller committee, to be on our usher committee, there's all kinds of things going on. We need to have at least 20 people on the teller committee because 4 years ago, the state had 21 delegates to the national convention. We had 384 candidates. All the congressional districts had 3 delegates and 3 alternates. Okay, we had 38 4 years ago. We don't know how many we're going to have this year. We need to have 20 people on the teller committee. And since it's just us in Adams County, you know, any assistance can help. Please give me a call or see me before I leave. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's give the new, renovative, innovative guard a hand. Okay, other announcements? Beverly, you move to announce? No, okay. I'm looking, put your hand up. You got something you want to say before we get our speaker on?
Thank you, Fred. I just got something I want to share with the group.
Oh, we have a sharing.
I mentioned this to Fred Saturday or so. Tom, Tom. I'm Tom McAdam from Arvada. When I retired, the guy that I worked for, he was one of us. He enrolled me in a program called National Right to Congress. About once a week I get an email from that, giving me an opportunity to comment on something that is before Congress. And there's a couple of ways to do it. There's a button you can click on that says I'm in favor of this, I'm against this, or I care about this, or you can add your own verbiage. So the one that came along last week was dealing with the federal light bulb standards. That's something that we really, I've searched the Constitution and it ain't there. But nonetheless, so the issue was that they're talking about repealing those standards. So I clicked the button that says I am in favor of repeal of the federal light bulb standards. Went to President Obama, Ed Perlmutter, and our 2 senators. And it's routine, you send an email to one of your elected representatives that you get a reply from them pretty quickly. So I sent my comment in on the national light bulb standards. And I got the following from Ed Perlmutter. Dear Thomas, thank you for contacting me about Second Amendment rights. I appreciate hearing from you on such an important issue. And I have a record of supporting Second Amendment rights. We like to say that Congress, the people in Washington, are out of touch with us out here in flyover country. Exhibit A. Thank you.
Gladys in favor, second amendment, Bob? Okay, other announcements? Going on? Oh, you got over here? Okay.
Thank you. Ed Thomas in Ordata. Hey, I just wanted to recap last Friday morning's meeting, and some of you can jump in. The city of Ordata did a presentation on a local park that they rehabbed. And then they talked about how they're going to work on the next 5 or 10 years. The fire department mentioned that they will probably not improve their ISO rating, even though that they've had three mill levy increases. I was really sorry to hear that, because I was thinking the money really ought to go toward improving our homeowner insurance for private citizens, homeowners, and businesses. They also mentioned they'll be taking over a section of the ambulance service that is currently outstanding. And I just wonder how many of those guys will be laid off in about a year. The schools mentioned that there's probably going to be a mill levy increase, and I wonder about, they seem to have a social agenda rather than an academic agenda. The senator from our community was kind of delighted that they had surplus money, and they were redistributing that back to the State Departments. The Park and Rec District gloated about their new facilities, and I wonder how many gymnastic people are now going to be out of work, or those businesses may be closing. RTD announced that in 2016, light rail will be through Arvada, but they're going to need an extra $1 billion to finish the program up north. And in addition to that, they wanted a 0.4% sales tax increase. And maybe there was some more things, but everything I saw when everybody stood up was more and more and more and more money. And I just don't think that they understand the dilemma that the city and the state and county is in. Thanks.
Thank you. Ed ran for Arvada City Council, and hope he doesn't give up on that. Lorraine Anderson was our representative from the RTD board, and she was telling me how great it was going to be, and they are looking for 0.4%. But at the end, I approached her personally, and I said, Lorraine, we've had Cal Marcellus speak to this group and to many, many others, and he assured us that this thing was good, it was going to come in under budget and on schedule. So if you really need some help, if you need some advice, I believe you got about $300,000 or $400,000 to leave. But I suggested she call him, and he'll let her know how it really ought to be done. Okay, are there any other announcements? We'll have a meeting after our guest speaker, our featured speaker. We want to read just a little bit about this again. I find out that about 1% of people that receive my email don't read it, so for them I will read about our featured speaker. By the way, every time you get the microphone and you do speak into the microphone, you introduce your name at least. It's a way to get familiar with each other. Anyway, featured speaker Joe Coors, running for Colorado Congressional District 7. He's going to speak today on how the national debt is downgrading America's ability to survive. He's going to explore the questions: how does the CEO view the federal budget and federal spending? How do we restore fiscal sanity? A little bit about Joe. Joe Coors, former 70-year-old former CEO of Coors Tech. He's running for Congress as a Republican to restore the American dream, and because he believes current levels of federal spending will impoverish future generations. Joe spent his life creating private sector jobs and serving the local community. And I've heard a lot of comments on that, the great work that he and the Coors family have done and are doing. He believes the American dream, which inspired his great-grandfather to leave Germany for the United States, is under threat because of burgeoning debt, crippling taxes, and the growing regulatory onslaught on job creators. And I told you.